beautiful people. Good morning. Good morning. I will never get nobody name up. They was like, is that a wig? What was that? I said, I don't know. I don't do hair. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna say the other women that was in there. Some that at the Mariners, they was laughing at the gym with me this morning. They said, we know you gonna put them hairstyle. I said, I am. So I know, because we got 130. I said I am. I'm going to put it up there. Now, one downvote is Liddell or Kansas. I'm not messing with it. But look who they said that was Crockett. We got Stephen A. Smith attacking her now. Jasmine Crockett.
He's attacking our whole nationality, so it ain't nothing new with him. He's the fastest race. He all that. He let you know who he is. He ain't holding him up.
But he black. No, Stephen A. Smith.
Oh, man.
I'm talking about Stephen A. Smith. You ain't see how they said that. I said, y'all wrong. Y'all wrong. I mean, listen, hey, some laugh with you, some laugh at you. They laughed at me plenty of times. I laughing too, shit. But, hey, it is what it is. But, boy, we was rolling. They was like, you gonna put them pictures up? I said, I am. She the one brought up content. She said, are they trying to use stuff for content? I said, well, she gave it to me. But this what I had wanted to say. I was watching one guy, I was looking for his video, and he was talking about, like in Chicago, when they raided the hotel, and I get both sides, not the hotel, the apartment complex, but, and as he was breaking it down, and it was like what they doing is, what they not telling people is, and it's bad on both sides, but these was the ones that the Democrats had, and when they took them to Martha's Vineyard and everything.
Yeah.
What's up?
I just can't fathom that, right? Like, I'm still stuck on, you touch my kids, I'm touching you. It's that serious. And the fact that he's just letting this man skate by, but a dude who does something peaceful, that rallies the community to do something peaceful, right? How often do we see people today get groups of people together, rile them up, and go set them loose? Jed gathered a group of people, got them focused, and did something productive, and he's the fucking monster? This is some bull.
What it do, beautiful family? Good morning. Great morning. I'm getting my share game on. Work with me. I'm running late. Work with me. Work with me 1 second. I got to share to a couple more people. And then we good to go. We can get it going. As you see, I got Yogi G in the building. And as you can see, Yogi's in the building. Let me deal with this real quick. I'm telling you. Here we go.
I don't got but 2 friends, so, my shit is short.
Look at it. Stanley Wood with the $5 starting off $5 Friday. Thank you, Stanley Wood. As I'm getting my stuff on real quick. Let me deal with this madness back here.
What's up, good people? I want to leave it to old Otis to get the official greeting of 810 News Media Group, giving you the news that you can use always on this Freestyle Friday. And another F is happening on this Friday, $5 Friday. We like to make sure the team stays supported to be able to bring you this independent news that, once again, you surely can use. And if not, you wouldn't be here. And as you heard, while Otis is taking care of some background stuff, man, listen, I only got 2 friends out here, but we would love it if you would hit that share button, hit that like button, hit that share button to make sure that we can go out here and talk to more people.
That lovely Deborah Luna with the $5 Friday on this side, you heard?
Word. Hey, y'all give a big up to hearts for the cat owner in the background. Otis is cat sitting and he having some troubles, but I tell him up in my parts of the wood and these 202 streets, a cat is necessary. So I think he should embrace being a cat person for the moment. Hope Easley, thank you for the $5 Friday, man. You make it starting us off strong so that we can make sure that old Otis to my left, maybe you're right, Don't know top bottom. Otis and Trevor be messing with the controls. I don't know what's going on, but I know we here on this Good Friday. And if I'm hitting you from the 202, that means that all is not lost just yet. The world is still revolving, and you still got time to change your mind and your ways. What do you do, peoples? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. See, I don't have the controls. I can't put y'all up to say the official hellos and things like that, but I want you to know I see you. And it's all up. Look at me. I'm the air traffic controller today. I got all my directions going on per my hands.
I'm back
Word.
for sure.
I shouted
Let's
out
get
Hope Beasley. She hit us with the $5 super chats.
Hope Beasley in the building. What's going on with you, Yogi G?
Oh man, I was saying earlier that I have never felt so hard. Um, I've never felt so hard. Those lyrics to Good Times. So I would say, in honor of that, I am scratching and surviving and still standing like a radiated roach. What about on the side?
What's up, Miss Gladys? Michelle Smith, aka Ann. Miss Kariza. What's up, Zeke? Pastor Nicholas. Shout out to my Gaddis clan. I'm ready to get this thing on the road. What's been going on in them DC streets?
Man, it's December and everybody in any kind of position of power is now trying to wrap it up for the holidays and also make sure that you are remembering that they're running for something that's going to impact your life. So we got a lot of people out here campaigning, holding a lot of town halls, a lot of places to be. Um, on the more national part, we had that tragic assault on the two National Guards, still dependent on what really happened. We only got speculation from media, but what we know is that someone lost their life, maybe one or two people. And as a result of that, here in DC, there was told that they were going to send 500 more troops. I have not laid my eyes on 500 new bodies inside of here. Don't mean they're not here, but they also have now earned themselves some security. They got security guards. So the National Guards now have security guards, courtesy of our Metropolitan Police Department. Don't you love it?
To me, it's H. Sprague. Good morning. To me, it's a bunch of BS. Because, in my humble opinion, I just think this is some stuff that they didn't create, and it's just like, and that's what me coming with that conspiracy theory. To me, it's some stuff that they created. Like I don't want to be like Malcolm when they say the chickens came home to roost, and it's basically it's like to me, it's like that. It's like him want to send 500 more troops there. Like, what is bringing more troops there gonna do?
I mean, once again, as you'll often hear me say, I am currently a journalism media strategy student. And so I am paying thousands of dollars in possible plantation time to bring you this knowledge that I'm learning for free. So with that in mind, you all right over there, Otis?
Yeah,
I
just
can't go
blowing
down with
it.
my
No, I was trying to get this dust off my laptop.
I can't call 911 from Flint. I don't know if DC
No,
EMS is gonna come out there.
oh no,
Um,
they wouldn't.
Word. But no, from a media standpoint, you gotta take everything from a grain of salt and really become your own best journalist by vetting some of these things that's coming out. So from a media standpoint, hearing that 500 more troops are coming to DC, it just feels like a real power hold.
Facts.
Uh-oh.
No, that wasn't that. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
Ain't no love coming your way. I saw it. I saw
Yeah,
it.
don't worry about that. It was just I'm waiting on them to come in the chat this morning. I don't see a lot of
Mm.
them up in here this morning. I've been
Like,
waiting on them. Yeah, but go ahead,
good.
go ahead. Don't
That's
worry
right.
about it.
I used to rock the stock too, so I ain't too
Yeah,
mad about it.
yeah, yeah. Don't trip, don't trip. They giving you shouts out for your fro today, Yogi G.
Oh, word. Thank you. Thank you. I got to rock it how I got it.
For sure. I mean, and oh, Concrete Jungle said he got 5 on it with the $4.99 for $5 Friday. You heard? Thank
Love
you,
that kind of
beautiful.
way.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, beautiful people. Thank you. I'm just looking at because I know I'm going to piss off probably some Republicans. What I'm about to say, the one, not all, but a few of them. To me, because come January 1st, going to be a whole new thing finna be popping right for far as health insurance, right?
Mm.
I think I think from this president, all the gifts that he been given, and it's time to come collect that check. I think people gonna have a different understanding on, as they say, F around and fine. Now, what's up, Tony Terry? Thank you for tapping in. L the Golden Child Sharp. I mean, and just think about it. Look how mad they. Just think about it. How a big percentage of the population of America was mad when they had to wear them masks and stay inside. They was mad.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, they was mad. I think they just thinking Trump just pissing off the Democrats. I do believe he finna piss off a lot of Republicans coming in 2026.
I mean, well, I am a avid doom scroller. So from time to time, before I have to go out into reality of these streets, I like to sit like everybody else and let my fingers do the walking across a couple of social media platforms. And I'm excited for today because it's like a freestyle Friday, right? So
Right.
those looking for a specific forum here, it ain't coming here today. We just here coming together, letting our tinfoil hats fly free. And
Fine.
just talking about some things that are flying across the social media. So I have one video that might just start off on some kind of maybe conspiracy theories, but which you can kind of connect the dots to where we're looking at ending or landing in January. If we can make it to January, I'm still trying to find hope on that.
Facts and bumper / recall. Give my fellow 740 and shooting the shit T a happy birthday. That's why I put it up here, but I wanted Yogi to get off. Give shooting the shit, shooting the shit T a happy birthday from the clan, my fellow 740. No, Yogi, I'm with you because I was looking at some of the videos behind here. I like what you sent for the people can see, because I don't think people really understand like the times that we in. I think people I try to use references like when as Rome was burning, what they said Negro was playing with the violin, and it's like I don't think people understand like the situation we in. People might see, oh, gas $2.75. Hell, I remember when it was $1.50. You know what I'm saying? They acted like
Was that like 1930?
nah, that was back in the early 2000s. Remember when 9/11 happened? Yeah, we was paying. Yeah.
I gotta make sure we got age
Back
difference.
back in the 50s, 30s, it was like 15 cents a gallon.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know that,
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But I love to study history because I was not even a thought, and nor was my parents born during that time. So I just like to go back. I love to study history and look at it. But no, seriously, that's how I'm looking at it. It's just like I think you, like I said, I try to look at it from both sides. I try to get it. I don't see where America's really in a good situation. What's up, Felicia Martinez, that East Coast love in the building? I don't see how we're in a good situation, Yogi. I'm just going to be honest with you. Hello? Yogi froze up. Let me put Felicia up here. You're back.
I'm back.
Yeah, Demetria Brown, good morning. I just don't see. I don't see no good situation that we in. I mean, we can't. We still talking about race in America. What's up, the lovely Terry Nixon in the building? And that's the stuff they don't want to be seen. Like we were just talking about, when me and Trevor was talking about propaganda, like how people want to omit stuff in the books. Look at how they want to omit slavery happened in America, how they want to wipe that out their history books.
Yeah, because you don't want nobody to have a blueprint to your plans. It's one thing, if as an avid lover of history as well, right? You start to see the pattern that America doesn't change up its strategy much.
Right.
It just takes advantage of the new players on the board that have lack of information. And so now that we're in a space where like literally all information is at your fingertip, now you might have to vet it when you get it, but it is still there. It's not really gelling in well with their takeover plan. Too many people know what's going on and can connect the dots. And before everybody locks in and locks together, they got to make sure they get rid of it. So,
Facts.
Oh, you got a new cup?
I know. What's on this cup? Oh, my bad. The Lions. The Lions. My bad. I didn't know. I was just drinking. I had my tea today.
Don't be like Otis people. Stop giving their white man your money.
I
Nothing
am, but
against
I, I,
others.
I, I think that was the best spent I did right there. It was for a couple people in the chat. It was for a couple people in the chat. I don't want to say nothing. You know,
Common
I'm
sense
not
said,
saying
yeah.
the cup is saying enough. See, sometimes you ain't got to say nothing. It was a massacre. It was a Motown massacre. It was that. Let
Those views are not the views of Yogi G from DC. I know nothing about it. I stopped
facts.
watching that and the organization a long time ago, so I can't share.
Oh, facts. No, don't worry about it, Yogi. There's just a couple people that was up here. Good morning, Marcia A. Tarver. When you get here,
Uh-oh.
I got to shout certain people out. You know what I'm saying? There was a whole bunch of talking yesterday.
Oh, they were giving you the blues.
Oh, got us a sponsor this morning.
See, I gotta give the sound effects because we ain't got no soundboard in the secret location for Otis, so I gotta give it up.
Uh-oh. I know you got to know what's going on. And this is from the lovely Felicia Martinez by way of New Jersey, East Coast, that is. Mickey's Roll Call is sponsored by House Speaker Johnson for immediately. I was going to post it immediately. Swearing in the new rep of Tennessee, but took 7 weeks to swear in the rep of Arizona. If playing in your face was a person, shaking my head, diabolical. Diabolical.
I think the fact that we think that they playing in our faces diabolical. I don't think they playing.
Yeah, facts. The world, Neil. Good morning. Because you know what the problem is. I listen to what's up, Alan Lich in the building. If I said your name wrong, I'm so sorry. T
Words
way
are
to
hard.
represent. Words
Words
are
are
hard. Because is
yeah.
it light or is it Lich?
I don't know. Between the educational prowess between me and DC and you and Flint, I think we coming together with a collective one whole student. So if you're looking for that, you might want to look to the chat to give
I'm gonna
us
say
the number.
Alan L. I'm just
There
gonna
we
say
go.
Mr. L is in the building. No,
Work
I'm
with
just because I'm looking at this thing with the and shout out to Salty Chef with my Saskatchewan hat. Shout out to you, Salty Chef. This what I do because I seen some Republicans and I seen Democrats just blowing by the Epstein stuff. Oh, he's did this and that. I never seen so many. I mean, they probably been doing this, but the way they covering up and want to make them. Well, good morning, the lovely Lawana Terry. Make them women that stuff didn't happen to like didn't nothing happen to them. It was just Epstein. Forgot it was other people that was there. And it's like if people can't see how they really feel to the Marcia A. Tarver that stepped in the building. Go Lions. Yeah, no problem. We don't worry about that. That's just that's some little insider jokes. I'm like how they don't take it seriously, and I get it. Good morning, Kobe Fatty, aka Elizabeth P. Finney. I get it when they say certain people be crying wolf or whatever. But when you will shoot this down, you know, and because I'm looking at how they went after Bill Cosby, how they went after Puff Daddy, how they went after R. Kelly, how they a smidget went after Harvey Weinstein, but he got out.
yeah. I see once again, like to be quite honest, I'm not the professional here. So if you're looking for some big articulate words on the Epstein files, I ain't got them. But what I will say is that it's a lot of chatter that's happening about Epstein files specifically, and everybody is hyper focusing on the outcome of this in hopes that it's going to get us closer to justice, to getting people out of place of power. That's helping these policies continue on. That's like really making us not have great days up until 2026. And I think that for what it's worth, like, do we want the women who have been women and men, right? Because there was a mixed bag here, to get justice for being trafficked and ultimately abused and misused? Yes. Do we want to know who the pedos are in higher power? Yes. Will it change the experience that we're having right now?
Mm-mm.
I don't believe so. Chat, you let me know. Do you think that it's going to change any of the things that we're headed towards right now? Like, I mean,
Mm,
it to me, there are more headlines out there that deserve just as much attention and chatter than the Epstein files. But that's constantly what the big six of media are putting out there as a
mhm,
distraction. Personal opinion.
mm. No, I agree with you, but I think it wouldn't have got did like that because it's really MAGA that's pushing it. If this president didn't push that on his campaign, he was going to release it because he was trying to expose the Democrats.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
he didn't do that, if he didn't do that, he wouldn't have had his people trying to press for that. You
That's
know,
true. I guess we'll only see
yeah,
after you count. This is just like the most terrible countdown to New Year's, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, plus, oh, facts, Alan, I do agree with you. I agree with you.
we got an interesting tale here locally in that.
That's for you, Yogi.
Oh,
I'm
word,
standing
Sandy, you
with the
gotta let us know when you
$5.
come up. You know, you gotta catch us before the apocalypse. You know, I can't guarantee where I'll be when the apocalypse is hitting DC. Okay, so we gotta be sooner than later, as Sandy.
and and I want to speak on that. It's like to me, it seems like the people that's running things or people who might be in don't see what like they want to act like the cry that I'm not saying you crying, but as a metaphor, like the crying y'all saying about with the National Guard being all this stuff going on, like you said, apocalypse. You have people. Oh, it's not that bad. It's nothing wrong with the police coming. It's to me, it's like how can we be so sensitive to when we hearing somebody from there saying, "Look, this ain't how we grew up." And honestly, not just from you, some other DC natives who then got podcasts and who be talking like, "Look, you survived the '80s in DC. This is nothing right now.
Man, if you
This is
survive the
nothing."
99 2000s in DC, this ain't nothing. And then, like I said, this is the specific reason why I found interest in going into journalism and media specifically because it is very much about the narrative that's being spent out here.
Mm-hmm.
Because very rarely do people in their day to day have time to slow down and vet what they're being told.
Right,
And media been jumping for us since what the 60s and really between in the 70s and 80s it became a really prevalent thing because more people had access to like television directly in their home. And then you talk
right,
about the transition of how we obtain media now through our telephones and stuff like that. So it has a very huge um, purpose in a lot of the manipulation that has happened in how we perceive as Americans what we're experiencing. That being said, to your point, like when we talk about how everybody keeps harping on the National Guard, the National Guard, the National
mm-hmm.
Guard. For us here in DC, that is the least of our worries. Are we concerned about the violation of authority here? Yes. We are very much concerned about that. Our Attorney General has filed a case, and we had lawyers decide that it is illegal for them to be here, and all of
Mm.
the things, but they're still marching around in the streets. But for us, what I will say, what is more important is what's happening behind the scenes. The fact that our MPD is still actively working with ICE. The fact that we have our MPD agents and FBI coming into our predominantly black neighborhoods that are harassing our citizens and actively arresting our youth. They're bringing forth curfews left and right, turning policies. So they really are behind the scenes gutting out DC as best as they can for what I believe to be coming ahead because we got to also have a huge white flight happening here in DC. And if you're not
Oh
familiar
wow.
with white flight, that means that when all the white people that feel like there has been too much going on return back to their original home, and it leaves a lot of our housing market spaces open. Um,
Mm.
it's bad for us here in DC because, like I was telling Mick one time, I'm kind of stuck. I'm like Kunta Kente, that is, in DC because I don't have the means to be able to pick me and mine up and just move to another situation that might be better. So I'm kind of stuck with the situation here. And if we have a lot of open market housing, or however that goes, then that means that a lot of the people who are, what's up, Uncle Cole? Good to see you. Um, a lot of people are in danger because then that's an open space for us to be taken over, right? A lot of
Right.
we don't have the same kind of safeties as even in Michigan. We don't have a governor and things like that. We go
Mm.
from mayor to Congress, and anything that we want to do in our budget has to be approved by Congress. So if they want
Mm.
to take over the nation's capital, and we have a lot of open housing, that means that
Right.
all they got to do is bring their people up to move into houses. It only take you a few years, maybe a year or two, to be considered a voting citizen in the District of Columbia. So we're screwed.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So like that's why
Wow.
I keep saying that like for DC specifically, I think why it's important for people to kind of use us as a case study is because one, we're the nation's capital. Two, this is the probability of what they can do in other cities and states if they have people who are willing to roll over and play the game for the sake of keeping theirs and their people and their circles safe. So
Facts.
yeah,
So y'all got that FBI going on up there too.
man,
Friends, brothers, and
heavy,
in-laws.
heavy, and it's all under uh, blue rain. You know, like one thing I can agree with DC being a southern city. Just for those who don't know, we
Mm-hmm.
are a southern city, a southern town, I would say. Um, but like, yeah, we got FBI here, and everybody is flying the blue flag. But in their hearts, I'm feeling that there's a little crossover between the red and the blue, which makes the purple. So you know, I got taught in art. You know, when you mix your primary colors, they make another. So
Look at her talk showing that DC education system off. Mr. Classic, look, Carl, Eleanor Wick, everybody who just tapped in. If I miss your name, good morning. Thank you for tapping in with me and Yogi G right now. Um, damn, Yogi. I mean, I get it, like you say, the person needs. But how do we know what the person needs to fight for and which one's not to fight for? That's what it's like, because they steady dumping y'all with so much stuff.
yeah, I mean, you know, my folks back in the day used to have this nice little saying that I like to hold true to is that actions speak louder than words. Like you
Right.
can talk all day about what you want to see and what you're doing, but receipts are receipts. And so, with that being said, if I haven't seen you in these streets, if I don't know that you've been working with this organization to help this happening, you haven't had a voice before now because you see an open opportunity to continue on making money in a scandalous way, then I don't have no kind of faith in you. I don't even have a starting point, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
everybody gets, oh, thank you, Marcia. $5 Friday, good people. Marcia keeping the ball rolling, and we appreciate that. But I just don't understand how people haven't gotten in the space of like doing their due diligence to check out who people are and if they really doing what they saying they're doing. Like everybody's scared to come out there doing talk to their neighbor to see if they really rocking with the person that's trying to represent
Right.
them. That's crazy.
Why do you think people be scared to do that?
Well, first and foremost, we have been trained to be isolated
Mm-hmm.
inside of our boxes, whether it's in your phone, whether it's in your
Right.
television, whether it's your apartment or your house. Everybody has learned to stay in their space and make it great. And unfortunately, that's not how we're going to do collective work to regain power in this situation of takeover, courtesy of NAGA. And I know it's a fearful thing because people have lost their mind, rightfully so. You know, everything has been gifted for us to be
Right.
in a total chaotic space right now. But like you really got to get over that because either way you lose. If you don't go out here and talk to your neighbors, you don't go out here and create situations where you can have collective conversation as a
Right.
community. So that you can talk about how do we make our community great and make sure that we hold the person that wants to represent us accountable, then you pretty much already giving yourself a death sentence. We have so many different factors that are designed to kill us right now. Please don't let it be that the way that you died is that you didn't want to go out here and speak to no damn body to see if y'all are having the same issues, maybe had the same solutions that you like to see happen, or maybe how you guys can come together and fill the gap until the government gives you what you're supposed to have. And I rarely use that word supposed to. It's the equivalent of cussing at somebody, but you know,
Facts.
ideally, yeah.
Good morning, Sharon. Thank you for tapping in. For my That's my Georgia family. What I'm looking at is like we know, they finna be popping up. What's up, good brother? Thank you for tapping in. What I'm looking at is to be honest, it's like these people finna come. They gonna lie to you, and when you trying to decipher, in fact, people don't know their neighborhood because they focus on one area that the voters who come out and vote. Because if I remember Eric said this one, and it was Eva Worthy, the former councilwoman, when she said, "I talked to all my voters." He said, "You went to your whole ward, or you just talking about them 40 or 50 people voting for you?" Because
That
it's if when you go to some of these ward meetings, they don't be that many people up in there. Believe me, I done been to some of them. You know what I'm saying? And listen, they can barely pack a house. Now, Eric could bring them out. Like I say, Tanya have hers. Certain areas do come out. But to me, and I think will probably turn the young voters off, is that they see these people, that they know who these people, Rolanda 380, thank you for tapping in. I just think they like you just think about it. These people finna come in. All the stuff that's been going on in your city, just like stuff been going here. What happened? Because I just want to see what was the people at when Miss Beverly Biggs was getting pulled out of her car when they was arresting the elderly during that peaceful march. I want to see what was the people at that was when they was attacking Miss Gladys. The police was harassing the people down the city council. I want to know where them people was at. Now all these people who finna jump up and finna be coming saying they want to run for all these seats is up next year in 26. We got what, 26 days left in this month?
it's just
26 days left in this month. Here go another one. This my fellow 740 and shooting the shit T. I never seen Candace in my neighborhood, the same neighborhood she claimed she lived in. She didn't even know on the side of town she lived in, it was a Kroger store over that way. I'm just
well,
telling you.
can I operate in my accountability partner here? Because I have many hats
Yes, ma'am.
to go on top of this fro. And the part of my accountability program is rooted in grassroots organizing, right? And I know we got a lot of old school Black Panthers, Uncle Cole is on the chat right now. So
Mm-hmm.
if I'm saying anything wrong, please correct me. I know
Mm-hmm.
our chat is good for that on this Good $5 Friday. Man, listen, I know that a lot of people are not having the conversations that a lot of us think that they should be having. But here's the beauty in things that we teach in grassroots organizing: the power of activation on your own. Right? You don't
Mm-hmm.
have to wait for anybody to do the things that you want to see get done. And a part of that in grassroots organizing is being able to have the ability, one, to have a one-to-one with a person who's a candidate or a potential candidate. That means that you go and you find out where they are, or you hit their email and you say to them, "Hey, listen, I'd like to meet up for coffee to chat with you about your views or how you represent in the community." That's one way to do it. The second way to do it is to have a house meeting. That means that if you have a space that is open, it doesn't have to technically be your house. That means that you can get enough people that you know that will show up, and then say, "Hey, I have 25 to 30 people that want to meet with you for a candidate forum," or just have a house meeting to sit down and chat. People during these times when they're running for titles are most welcome to come there as long as it's a safe environment. You can't be inviting them to a dark alley and being like, "Yo, we want to meet with you." That's not safe. I'm not coming to that.
Facts. Granny
Ew.
G, thank you for the $5 Friday super chat. Remember, it's $5 Friday. No, I'm with you on that. That's why I do believe when you finish like, and I ain't gonna lie, this how I met Brother Elliot. It was at a meet and greet for your seventh ward to meet the seventh ward. I remember him and a person got into it that was throwing it. He was like, "What you mean we can't ask him no questions?" And he left out.
Yeah.
Well,
And
they wanted him out. But Sandra Nichols Martin, thank you for tapping in too, beloved. Thank you for the $9.99 super sticker. Thank you, thank you, thank you. See,
then
now go ahead.
I feel like I hear Brother Elliot, and I know that he kept that conversation going outside of that. The next step to that is now if the person who was moderating or who was leading that action was not moderating or facilitating it properly, you still have an opportunity to do your own. Nothing stops people from being able to galvanize their personal community together to talk to some of these leaders. And here, if we could do it here in DC, if there's a smaller city or state, or even if it's a larger one, right? You got a city or town. I imagine you can make these things happen. Now, I'm not saying that always they'll come.
Hold that thought for one
Where
second. I gotta give a shout out to Rosalind and telling her mama eat your food while you watching this, and thank you, beloved, for the super chat. I mean for the cash app. Thank you. Her and her mama eat your food while you watching the show. Don't have me have to come over there and make you eat your food, but thank you, beloved, for tapping in. Go ahead, Yogi.
word. Well, I just Yogi's rant, and then we gonna get to this video because I want to know what the chat got to say about these thoughts that I came across in my doom scrolling. Um, is that, man, you can hold conversation and hold space for the community that's closest connected to you, and invite these people into those spaces because at the end of the day, they're supposed to, they should be. All of my violating words I just used for this good $5 Friday. Uh, be most willing and most excited to hear from their residents or their constituents and stuff. So I just want to encourage people as you over these next, how many days you say we got to Armageddon? Otis?
26.
We got 26 days until the Lord is coming to wrap us all up, courtesy of a button that Donald Trump has his finger on. And so while you're doing that, you might as well just go ahead and get your people together and start inviting these people over for some milk and cookies. Bernie
Milk
stuff.
and cookies. Milk and cookies.
Invite them over for some milk and cookies.
Milk
And
and cookies.
got some questions for them.
The lovely Sherry Allen then tapped in, and thank you to Felicia Martinez. Trevor then tapped in. That's what I agree with you, but I don't think they see, to me, in order them to be fair, the people who finna throw these meet and greets, you gotta be, these council people who run it gotta be able to take these tough questions. I ain't say, you hear what I said? Tough, not disrespectful,
Right.
but tough.
Right. There is an exchange of energy that you have to be aware of. While you may be vexed, I think that's a Caribbean word, right? We may be vexed that these people may be trash in your world. The probability that somebody else thinks that they're great is high. And so if you really are about getting to the bottom of why they can't meet you where you are, or you know what they are willing to do, don't come in with kindness until you have a reason to return it. But even then, it still doesn't do your cause any good to meet that energy with what they're already expecting. And if you look at Flint as an example, I stay out the way because you see I'm a DC native. But if you look at how Flint feels about when people match certain energies, I think that he was on the better side of maybe just being the upstanding citizen on this one. Even though it's
Right. No, because I'm looking at with my fellow 740. Tisha, I noticed that Candace do not have 7th Ward meetings, but they're only held, do have 7th Ward meetings, but they're only held in the cultural center neighborhood. Yeah, because she don't want to come over there with that black side at, because they call her to the carpet. And right, T, they can't take tough questions personal, but that's what they do. See, here go another one from Alan. As you said, Mickey, now one civic organization stood 10 toes down in favor of peaceful protest, nor stood against police brutality, force upon senior citizens, and so on. Good morning, Lanita Murray. Thank you for tapping in. That's what I'm saying, Yogi.
Well,
All them people and some of them organizations who was quiet, they're gonna be sending their people and backing their people to run for council or the mayor or state rep. They're gonna be putting people up to run. How could you vote for them when they were sitting on the sideline when people was in the fight?
it's a little thing that we developed over the time of civil rights movement called respectability politics, and we still have a lot of our elders and those who have been trained up by some of our elders to operate in that space. But I think this ties into the video that you just prepped up for us So why that may not be where everybody thinks that we're going to get results from. Operate and then just be nice, just dress it up, just speak articulately, and we'll make it happen. But then I also don't subscribe to burn it down because that comes with a high cost. Um,
Facts.
but yeah, but let's run the video and see what
I
the people
got
in the
you.
chat got to say.
In 2021, he passed away. He choked on his own vomit and he died. And this was very.
How old was he?
He was 39.
Was you watching the video
He
before?
did. Sadly,
Say Yogi.
I said, was you watching the video before? This shouldn't have started right there, but
Yeah, that's where. Yeah, no, that's where it started at.
okay.
Let me go back to the other one because this one only had. That's what all it had. That's why I was looking at it. Yeah. Hold up, Lanita Murray just stepped in with a $20 super chat. Thank you, thank you.
I don't know if y'all can hear, but
Yeah,
so
let
I
me
think
get
I
that.
got his soundboard, so I got.
Yeah, I was looking at. Yeah, I ain't got the soundboard because I had to work this from the crib today. Let me make sure you gave me the right one.
I still be half asleep. It's only 12 minutes, I think.
Hold on, I'll play this one for you. This the second one. You gave me a couple of. Let me put this one in. I got you. Let me play this one.
So that's just how the cookie crumbles. In District Heights, Maryland, my entire life.
What are your thoughts on the potential AI data center that's going to be here in the coming, year or so?
I believe it's a ploy to deconstruct households, especially in this area. They know what they're doing. They know what it's going to do to the household, to people of our color, but they're doing it anyway. I don't agree with it, but the government going to do what they got to do.
Instead of an AI data center, what do you think would be more worthwhile for this community to be put over there in the vacant lot?
We need more shelters for the people that's less fortunate. You feel what I'm saying? There's enough money out here for everybody to eat. And I feel like the economy already terrible and what Trump got going on. If we can get some more shelters out here for the less fortunate, that'd be great. You feel what I'm saying?
Affordable housing, something like that.
Economically, it's going to hurt us. Environmentally, it's going to hurt us. The water, what happened with Flint, Michigan, things like that can start to happen here. It's just not going to be good for our environment. And it's not going to be good in the long term. Things aren't good for your environment, aren't good for your mental health. So that's just how the cookie crumbles.
All right.
Oh, shout out. They brought up Flint. Hold that thought 1 second. Let me get to this user right here. Wood just had to, she come on at 6:30ish at nighttime on a nightly nip. She just had to take the mornings off, but she come on at nighttime. My bad, Yogi. You can go back.
No, you good. So while I work on getting Nick the video that I was segueing us into, we can jump to this conversation right here. I don't know if a lot of people have been hearing this talk about the data centers that are popping up in different spaces. So that's what this young man was speaking to. The fact that now the big business for America has moved from industrialization to now data sharing or data harvesting rather. And it's coming with a big cost to a lot of spaces and areas. So when you talk about the data center, why is it such a bad thing? Well, one, it is environmentally atrocious, and they've tested this out in many different spaces. That you have residents that are saying, "Hey, this is not okay," And you heard the young man bring up Flint specifically because just like Flint is dealing with water injustices, and people are being significantly harmed from having these things happen. This is the continued trajectory that we're going on from city to city and state to state. And I am a firm believer that once you see it get anywhere close to the nation's capital, you better hold on to your pantyloons because that means that this is a surefire go for anywhere else. I think I gave you Amanda Seals.
No, the three, I got three of them now. One was just 12 seconds. And I
that's
seen
the one I need
another
to
one.
find, so I might have to let you talk to the people.
Yeah, then this other one is like 1 minute and 21 seconds.
Yeah, let me make sure I'm on top of what I sent you. Because sometimes it edits when I send you to the primary.
Oh,
source.
wow.
Yeah. When it's over a certain
in an internal memo from September, CEO Sam.
Okay. I got that one.
Yeah, so run that one.
I got you.
Yeah.
Let me put her up here. Hold on. Let me take us off. Let me do it like this.
Thank you,
Put it
Derek. I
back
appreciate that.
for sure. I got you.
In an internal memo from September, CEO Sam Altman said that OpenAI's audacious long-term goal audacious is the word, is to build 250 gigawatts of capacity by 2033. If Altman achieves this goal, OpenAI will need almost exactly as much electricity as India's 1.5 billion people, and is likely to emit nearly twice as much carbon dioxide as ExxonMobil, the world's largest non-state carbon emitter, via Alan Kirk, PCA Permaculture Climate Action. Audacious is the operative word here, because it's the audacity of all of these capitalists, particularly white men, to just feel like, F it. My ambition is just far more valuable than like the planet. And all of you all who keep using AI super cash, like, cut it out. Stop. Like, if you can't write, just don't be a writer. These men are a cancer that has unlimited growth unless we become the method that stops them. Doesn't it bother you?
Okay, Amanda Seals.
Yeah.
She's an environmentalist now, huh?
Well, I mean, we all have to be, because if we don't have a rock to live on, we're not gonna live, Brother Otis. So,
You got a point.
I bring this up, in conjunction with where we started about us having the Epstein file always on the tip of our tongue about what we want to see that's going to get us to justice. Meanwhile, the very thing that keeps all of us alive is being burnt to a crisp.
Facts.
And I think that, us being a little more aware of the larger picture will help us come together.
Okay. With you trying to versify. I see you using them big old words. Go ahead, Yogi. You using them big words.
See, it's the fingertips. It's the pointed fingertips that help this conversation go along.
Okay.
It will help us collectively come together to really see who your supervillains are. My grandmother used to say, like, don't cut your nose to spite your face. And clearly, in the Thunderdome, aka the Capitol, they've never heard this, so they don't even care about it. Because, like, if you're so rooted in galvanizing or collecting money, which is man-made, to the point that you're willing to even cut the ability for you to even breathe air, drink water, to have a space to go to, that is astronomically diabolical. Look at that. I got two big words.
Yeah, ain't you coming with it and put like a little 4-bar rap together right there.
Here we go.
You didn't do 8, you did 4 bars. That's cool.
Yeah,
but that's the point that I'm looking at it like, to see, like, and it's like the environment, they don't care. Like, anybody can be paid off. Like, you call it the Thunderdome. That's why I was saying here, when me and Trevor's having a conversation yesterday, when he's like, you got to be careful if you take this information from here. But it's the same thing with the U.S. government, because, you know what I'm saying, fires that would, you have to be careful. Look at the EPA. They saying that the water, because you got the governor and you got your mayor, your state rep ain't going against her husband, so they saying that the water good, but yet I was just over my homeboy house yesterday. That water stank. But you know what I'm saying? And just look how the council, you would think they would be like, look, we need to do a testing for the whole city on the water. They not going to do that. They know they do that whole testing. Then you got to worry about the people they bring in. Can they be paid off? And we know in America, the dollar is really your God, whether people want to believe it or not.
Yeah, so when we talk about, like, how do you vet candidates, or like what conversations should we be having, and how do you, as a individual, right, that doesn't seek that kind of power or that kind of responsibility, keep up you can really simply keep up by seeing if they are in tune with the things that are really interconnected for all of us, right? Like it racism, in my opinion, is a bed wife to caste. And if you know about caste, you know it's all written in hierarchy, right? The
Mm-hmm.
rich, the have and the have nots is what makes
Facts.
the world go around in that particular system. And every I would say every empire has some form of caste that they are replicating. But in America, racism, racial divide has been the catalyst of keeping that going, right? It's like you can't just realize that it's the have and the have nots because then that still gives people the prowess of collecting power to
Right.
talk over that kind of power. But if you keep people divided by the have and the have nots in a different kind of way, I don't have because you're black and they want to give you more autonomy because now they got to give you and your people's 40 acre and a mule, or I don't
Right.
like you because now you're Muslim and I'm Christian, but it feels like that you getting more onus with the powers that be because you are Muslim and we got to be empathetic to your passion. Now we're all fighting each other while the people who are still burning up the earth, creating data centers, are still making these things happen, burning the world up one forest at a time. And so, if we don't have conversations, we don't come out of these silos of like isolation and start intentionally engaging your community. And that means all forms of community, whether they're white, black, or purple, whether they're a child, whether they're a senior, everybody has a
Mm-hmm.
role to play in whether or not we're going to make it through 2026. I would say maybe the end of 2025. But that's
Nah,
just me. Cynical.
yeah, no, I was back here looking up. I was gonna put the definition of racism
Mm.
because I was gonna do it again, but because I don't think you know, like we don't get it because people that they like to say where, this is where I don't want to get. What's up, Tricky So Nikki? I call her AKA Sexy Chocolate. Thank you for tapping in, and thank everybody that done tapped in. That's a little late. Yogi be cooking, so I can't. I don't want to interrupt her, but thank y'all for tapping in. I truly thank y'all. But I don't like when they be saying, "Oh, it's just they try to say it's classism." Bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I hate when they try to say, "Oh, it's just classism." No, it's racism too. Let's just quit. You know what I'm saying? And I hate when because they try to. And to me, I hate when they say classism because they try to. Well, it's just the rich and poor. Bullshit. It's racism in that too.
Well, it's all by design, right? Like
Yeah,
all the isms have to be in place in order for caste to work.
facts.
Especially if you don't want to be the mongrels that you had to be when you first tried to take over this rock of the so-called U.S. of A. So like every intricate part has a part in the larger grand scheme of things, right? Like
Right.
it is very much racism. It is very much classism because
Hmm.
I think about like how we even got to this point when America became America, right?
Hmm.
I think I've heard somebody speak to this before on this platform, but if not, then I'll lend my tinfoil hat to this conversation. That when you talk about the revolutionary times or the Green Tea Party, that was sponsored by wealthy white men who didn't like their place in society in Britain or in European space, right? And so they found those who were destitute, who had never had any access, and they told them, "Listen, we never wanted to make y'all like poor. We never wanted to treat you like that. As a matter of fact, we think you're upstanding citizens. You speak so well, and we think that all of us, if we come together, that's when they start speaking French. If we come together, then we can make America a thing." And
Right.
us as being people who have never been exposed to being treated better or believe the hype, fought that fight. And it's been a continuous thing, I think, for those who have power, those who have money and are closest to impact and influence. They always use the things that we don't have and our desire to be considered as just human beings and have that like space to take care of our people that we love against us. Um,
Right.
So I said a lot of things just to say that like it all has a lever in the bigger scheme of things. So yes,
Right.
racism, but also classism too, and every other kind of ism that we hear out here. Fascism, authoritarian. I can't get that one yet. It's the gap. That's what it
Now I'm about to say it is about to mess it up.
is.
Yeah, you know the word
Wait,
with a
and I
T.
don't want nobody to get mad at us, Nick. You know, last time I was on this joint, somebody felt some type of way because we went and reading the comments. I try to remind people that if you really want us to see what you got to say, it's $5 Friday. But we ain't here to pimp y'all. We just here to remind you that people got to get paid to do this thing. So with that being said, Alan Lynch, I'd like to acknowledge your comment here. It says, this is Squire Queen LUG. I appreciate the title. We as a community must purchase 20 miles of land, grow our own food, create our own fresh water, and so on. Yes. On the larger scale of things, Alan, we would love to do that. And for those who are already beating me where I'm getting ready to go, we know also that when you do those things, you got to make sure you stay strapped up. And however you want to, envision that, what I just said, let it be on you. But America don't like for you to get hip and understand that land is wealth. And when you start to take over your land, that's when they start to take it personal. So yes, that is one solution that we could be working towards. And I hate saying should, I said it a couple of times, but ultimately would benefit from all of us wanting to lean towards us being landowners in that way. But yeah, we know. Start small. Just start small. Like if you got a house and you can start a community garden, start there.
But we had our elders who showed us how to do it. See, before I got there, you see, Uncle already put it out there. That's why I had to put it up on the chat, Uncle Carl. We had the ancestors that told us how to do it. I just think I think we have got lazy because we got so dependent, and this goes back to slavery. Just think about it when our ancestors was free. They didn't know what to do because they had been so used to it. That's why they was easy to go back into sharecropping. Because they've been used, who been feeding you, who been clothing you. So when you go to looking at it, you don't know. You be like, damn, if I gotta go survive on my own. When the other ones you was doing all the work for, they was tripping. You mean I gotta get out here and do this? You gotta just go back and study. They went back. That's how you had that reconstruction. You had some who wanted to do it, but it wasn't enough that you could have, you know what I'm saying? And then you see they tried to crush every time they was trying to do something from your Tulsa, Oklahoma. Them the ones that we know. Your Bronzeville, Chicago, your Rosewood. But it was so many different ones. I don't know. I think when they see they could buy you off, and like who used to say, a lot of the people do it. I'm not trying to laugh, but it was just something he was telling me. Like the revolution, the reason they started getting jobs. So, like, you know what I'm saying? It was kind of hard. Like we see the one thing with the Big Six back then, how they came with Wilmington, North Carolina, 1898. I just think we just got into a standpoint, and then you got to understand, you're not dealing with no fool. Now they might be a wicked people, but you're not dealing with no fools. Now we got to understand that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I understand it ain't there. You're not dealing with no fools. Because when they came in, just think about it, drugs came in. So you had a lot of stuff that was knocking down. Because if you go look at all the organizations from the Nation of Islam to the Black Panther Party, they didn't want no drugs involved. Just think how we got of a more acceptable drug culture than we ever probably had. You remember the time people would hide and do what they did, and everybody didn't want to do drugs. Everybody want to do drugs now.
Yeah, because like, how else can you monopolize it over or rule over a group of people other than make them deaf, dumb, and blind?
Facts.
And that has been the thing. The only time that America's had a problem with something that was connected to anything that's considered to be drug use is if they weren't getting the first hand pocket. No middleman for America. Only them and the person that's doing the work. That's what they want. It's not so much about the effects that it has in the community, especially if it's doing the job that they want them to have, which is to maintain ordinance of people just being submissive, to being told what to do, to being used as cattle, being taken advantage of, and keep the ball rolling. Like, I don't know. Once again, I'm a person that likes to connect the dots. Maybe it can be considered conspiracy theory, maybe not. The chat can only tell. That why do you think it was a big thing for them to harp on abortion rights, right? Well, or like take away abortion rights? Because like we literally, when we're born into this world, you're giving a social security number, you're tagged in that.
Mm-hmm.
We probably are the one thing in consumerism as a being a human being that you can make money on in every transition of our life. From the time we come into this world to the time we hit dirt, you still making money off of us. So why would they care about whether or not you can read, whether or not you can write, whether or not you got healthy water, if they already know where the landmines are? That's the other part. The people who are
Facts.
building the system already know where the landmines are. We're
Facts.
out here trying to figure it out, generation by generation. So the beauty in being present in 2025 is that you have what time this rock was established as USA, 1776 or something like that. Yeah, you got the receipts from all the way back then to help you understand who we're really dealing with and what we're dealing with in order to take that into your little part of the town or your little neck of the woods and start having some intentional conversations with your neighbors. Because at the end of the day, I don't mean to be so morbid, Otis. I'm working on my joy spots. So, maybe another one. But the way
I
I
got
see it, yeah, you can't outrun this thing. Where are we going to go? I don't think that half of us as Americans even realize how hated we are in other spaces of the world. And for good reason, too.
yeah. But you know what? But see, that's the little naive that we be. That's what I call with us being naive. You know what I'm saying? To think like, oh, we're not hated, we're gonna be welcome because remember, Bush Jr. or we'll be welcome as liberators during Iraq War.
Yeah.
When he said we'll be welcome. So you gotta look at, and that's what my uncle used to tell me. He said, you gotta look at what a person say. Like we don't be listening to the words people be saying. That's why when I watch movies, I like to watch movies from their dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
Like the conversation. Action, don't get me wrong, I like action, but I like to hear the dialogue, the conversations that they having. Cause that damn near sometime will tell you the plot of the movie. You know what
Man,
I'm saying?
we just spent a whole Friday just throwing movies out there that people
Yeah.
can sit and watch over the weekends to catch yourself up on where we are in 2025 in America.
Right. No, no, it's true. I'll give you another example. And I know a lot of people probably finna get mad what I'm finna say. And I'm gonna go a little entertainment, but it's not. I'm just gonna show the racism. Just look how 50 Cent just did. Well, really, it was Netflix to did that documentary on Puff Daddy. Look who they used to do the documentary. We act like, and what the documentary was about, it was allegations, but they didn't go get, did they do one on Harvey Weinstein? I'm just saying, look at the play that's being put down. But see, you dealing with people who got money. And for 50 Cent to do that, in my humble opinion, I don't care what nobody say, that was for him to come from the streets. Because this is what he said he come from. For him to come from the streets, and then you did it from a standpoint because you knew this dude was dealing with your baby mama as it came out. To me, that's really on some sucker stuff. Because let's go get anybody. I put money on this. You can go get people. Listen, they they did a surviving Leon here from the councilman in the first ward. Let me just go let them go get your ops and let's see how fun they talk about you. But you see how they go do surviving on these people. And then we'll look at it, oh, he got paid to do it. You're not gonna see them do that to theirs. That's why I say that Epstein, to me, we can say it's other fights that we do, but this one show you where the racism at is in this. It's all right. I can point you out because you still, and it was Brother Elliot that was talking about, and I think Brother Roberts that was talking about when he talked about the Bill of Rights, when he talked about the 3/5, if I'm not mistaken. It was one of them. This is why we in the situation that we in. Just think about it. I'll give you an example. What was the color of the people that came after Marion Barry when he was the mayor of DC? Who was the people that came and attacked him?
Depending on what era you're talking about. In the initial part, it was the white people because of the egregious scandal that the FBI put him through. And you know, white people were just like, oh my goodness, he was in a hotel with a who and a what, and he was doing what, and then he got that infamous quote that we put on t-shirts out here, that B set me up. So like during that era, you know, it was the Wahites of our area that were not didn't like the representation that we had as being the nation's capital. But after that, it was us.
Now you see what I'm saying? The reason I bring that up because I remember when it happened to Woodrow, let me give him respect, former Mayor Woodrow Stanley. I listened, and Constance, good morning, thank you for tapping in. But common sense, and I put this up here for you, brother. If you saying was he not a crackhead, how many presidents that we had? They said John F. Kennedy did cocaine.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Listen, common sense, let me tell you, if he was a crackhead, he was the best damn crackhead we had because that man knew how to balance the budget and make sure the people were taken care of.
But you just see how easy it is. We'd come out and say, but wasn't he on drugs? What about the other people? But we only remember, see, when we say drugs, we put the black face with drugs because that's the image that they put out there. See, they you know, it, like I said, it wasn't a problem until it hit Wall Street. But when it was just just go watch The Godfather. But back to what I was telling you, I remember me and Reverend Thrill killed. I love sitting down talking to him. Why he said he was against recalls. He said it was whites who wanted the former mayor Woodrow Stanley out of there, but they convinced the blacks to go along with it too. You know what I'm saying? They convinced the blacks to go along with it.
Yeah.
And we could.
Go ahead, man.
No, I'm just saying, and we be our own worst enemies. Just look at the same thing with Dr. Weaver. I hate to say it, but shit, it was blacks got sick on her. It is what it is. But this how we'll do. But then when we got to this mayor, and it was some black sick on him, but it wasn't like it wasn't like a conglomerate with all of them was mad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think it's fair to acknowledge fear, right? And America's done a hell of a good job of making us fearful. Only a few of us are willing to risk it all for justice and liberty. And that's something, even as me being an organizer and training other people to be an organizer, is something you're challenged with, right? Especially when you have children, you got people that you care about and stuff. It's not as easy, especially in this era of convenience, to say that I'm ready to go out here and maybe not make it back home for the sake of elevating that things need to change, right? But I think, to your comment of what Malcolm X said, the roosters are coming home to roost. This is where we're being forced into making that decision, which our elders in the civil rights times were faced with. Are you angry enough that you're willing to still be on the right side of history, even if it costs you your life? And because a lot of us still have the ability to be able to tune in and tune out, turn it on, turn it off, and it's not in your face constantly, we think that we still have time to make up our mind. But like you heard Brother Mick, aka Otis, say, we got 26 days until like probability is we may not even be able to vote the way the things are going. Have you heard the conversation about what's this guy's name? Pete Hagsworth?
Yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah, and so there was some interesting dialogue that was happening on the internet about what will come out of him now being put up on the fire. Uh, and the probability that this will probably spark something that is very June 6th ish.
Yeah, remember the black general? What was it? The black admiral? He saying he will come. He will come to testify now. Reason he stepped down, like he said, he was not finna be a part of no killings, and that's when Pete was telling him, "You're not obeying your orders." This the point that I was making when I say you don't have things in order. See, people don't want to admit it. I hate to say it, but you have these stories. People forget about Caligula doing wrong, Nero doing wrong. You will get some people in that will. You can get some leaders in that you can have some lunatics in there. But I understood what Trump was doing. To me, Trump just going at the system because he looked at it like this. And like my uncle always told me, when you take a shot at the king, you better kill him. Because if you miss, they didn't think Trump was going to come back. They didn't think the Republicans was waiting to come back. They weren't going to get their turn. Just like we in Flint was hollering about saying this election ain't right. Then Trump said he was winning when he lost to Biden. When he went to sleep, he woke back up. It was over.
Man.
So let's be real. See, when he said, don't nobody want to, you know what I'm saying? You got certain people who want to hear. But when we say it, like, hey, something wrong with the clerk office. But we just can't see it on a national scale because we in that illusion that, oh, they wouldn't do this. You know, the government wouldn't do this. Look, we got the Tuskegee experiment. You got all this. You got all. That's why the wonderful Elijah Muhammad said, history is your best teacher. But yet we'll overlook it. Like, that's why you can have people, what you seeing what happened to George Floyd, and he brought that on himself. So all them other people before then was just getting killed by themselves. Or when you saw what was it? Green? What was the dude got his ass whooped out there in California? Said, "Can we all get along?"
Oh, Rodney King.
Rodney King, and that was wrong.
Yeah.
And they act like, what's up, Salty Chef? They act like they was mad because he wanted to talk about he got his ass whooped. Wasn't nothing wrong with that. They just show you.
You can't straddle the fence on this. I see what Derek said. Let me say this. What was the point in our ancestors standing up and fighting against all the enslaved us if we just gone elect government to do us like that again? Facts. I mean, but once again, Derek, it is by design that we have been fed the illusion of freedom, which has kept half of us on a divide where we like, I'm gonna jump in and I'm gonna let my fro go when it's time. But right now, ain't nobody looking for me in mine. Not my thoughts, but I'm just saying how it seems like it's some in the community feel about like when people are elevating the unjust things that are happening from a local standpoint and even from a national standpoint. We still believe that we got time to show up on the side of things when it's most needed. And that's not true. The time is now because you have the receipts to connect to what they've already put into play. And what you had time for right now is to be in a safe space to educate yourself about what you're really dealing with. That's what we got time for. Do you have time while we sitting here running from bombs and guns to find a community that's going to help you hold down the fort? No. You better work on that now. Do we have time to hold people who want to come into a new place of power accountable and teach people in our community how to vet and how to track action? Yes, you got time to do that, but you got to come up out of your own self-interest. Self-preservation is a thing, and sometimes it's the only motivation, but it's not necessarily what's going to get us in a space of being able to continue on to 2026 and beyond, not on this American rock. Not by the hairs of those chinny chin chins of those old Wahites in the Thunderdome.
You see, we got Muhammad Moss 722 on Denver Lanes from Bloods from California prison. You speaking nothing but fact. Shout out to Muhammad Moss, brother. Hit that like, share, and subscribe, brother, and share this to the rest of the listening family in California. You heard?
Word. Word.
No, I agree with you, Yogi. But see, that's the point. Because I'm back here looking for some other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's the point. Because I was finna try to find this video over here for it. But see, that's the point that I was trying to make. It's like, and I hate to go this way, but it's down there. To me, the ones who was running, but you know what? When do we gonna find people who cannot be bought off? That's the problem. I think, and don't get it twisted. People keep acting like Martin didn't have people that was against him. To me, what Jesse them did, and I'm not saying Jesse was good for what he did, but I think Jesse went with, you know what I'm saying. When Jesse got that money, Jesse see when you there, and I'll say this again. We wasn't there when ML King got killed. I know I wouldn't. When
You know,
King got took out, do you understand Jesse them was there? All of them was there seeing what went down. They don't see, we don't know the type of stuff that all we can do is pull up YouTube. I wasn't born back then when dogs was getting sick on them. When you had Billie Holiday singing about strange fruit hanging from a tree. We wasn't there. Well, we was there to see George Floyd, Tamir Rice. You know what I'm saying? Sandra Bland. Even though that's wrong. What's my man? Eric Gardner. All these different people. So when we don't, but we come up in, we see our own killing us.
mm-hmm.
You know.
But nobody want to talk about that, right? It's that old saying we have in Black community: what happens in home stays in home. And unfortunately, as much as we think we're doing a good job by not talking about these divides that we have in Black community in public spaces, it still is evident. You know, that's why I like going in the spaces that are not heavily Black. You know, not because I don't like hanging with my own people, but how are you supposed to know how other people view you if you're only hanging around people that look like you? Because at the end of the day, everybody ideally has the opportunity to participate in democracy here in the so-called US of A. And if everybody has the responsibility of being democratically sound, you working in a silo of only having conversation with your own people is not helpful, right? Look at Fred Hampton. In my opinion, that's why they took Fred Hampton out, because that's a gift that he had to be able to cross over into other communities to make the plight of interconnected oppression relevant. So while we all can set aside your biases for this one thing that we all believe to be true, that we deserve to be treated like human beings and to be able to be able to contribute to the beautiful notion of what America is supposed to stand for, right? And so, like, in my mind, if we're not doing that as individuals, if we're not keeping that trajectory in the forefront of how we interact with everybody out here, we're doing ourselves our own disservice. You might as well just go ahead and nah, that's too harsh. But go ahead, Nick. I was about to say something that's gonna get us probably flagged.
I probably was, but it was needed. No, because I'm just looking at it like, because when you look at it, and that's why I always say this: what happened to Eric Mays? People don't want to go on that edge what Eric was going through. Don't listen, man. And I'll say it again. Shout out to Miss Beverly Biggs. Shout out to John, the Lento group, John Groff. Man, they came in and helped relieve some of that pressure from Miss Biggs turning John on to Eric May. Regardless how you want to feel about an individual. When you going through BS, man, you need somebody to stand there with you. That man, like, you know, in my humble opinion, like when you battling against what he was going against a mayor, and then he didn't have the votes. I get it. Like even with Dennis, you being stressed out. Look how Liddell was able to say he called me a monkey. And everybody know how that is with Black. You call somebody a monkey, You know what I'm saying? But he was saying monkey business. Soon as Eric asked him what he was saying, but she took that, and I was able to go to the Young Turks to Rashard Ritchie, not knowing. And this would let me know that, okay, they must got these. That's why I say this Boulay hookup. Because just a month earlier, he was talking about her walking out on the Mitchell boys. And now you was on here defending her, saying that because it was a white, because Dennis Pfeiffer is white, councilman, and saying he called her a monkey. Didn't even do his due diligence. And that's and that's where, to me, for him to go ahead and take on that story and then even come back and, do his homework, it's like, damn, man, you didn't know the same person you was talking about a month earlier. Now you on here trying to defend a lie.
Listen, you can't be my candidate unless you really risk it all.
Listen,
I need a kamikaze. Is it kamikaze? Is that the
kamikaze?
Yeah, I need a kamikaze candidate, right? Because like right now in these times, you trying to straddle the fence ain't gonna do nothing but make all of us fall over and die, bro. Like, and that's the exchange of energy that you should expect out of your candidates. These are non-negotiables. You know that we need decent water. Now we need access to clean water. We need access to air, and we need livable land. Mm-hmm. Those are the three non-negotiables of any other representation of humanity, whether you black, brown, or whatever. If you don't have air to breathe, you don't have water to drink, and you're not gonna make it. So if you don't have a candidate that are protecting those primarily three things and standing 10 toes down and saying it with their chest, no matter what the consequences are, that's not a candidate for you. We don't have time to deal with people who are dealing with respectability politics because it's showing you where it's getting you. And if you need an example here in the 202, look at our mayor. When you met with Trump, and she said that it's for the greater good that we sit here and meet with her. And he said, get rid of now. Listen, when she spray painted like the villainous artist that she is, Black Lives Matter on the streets trying to stick it to Trump, she went international with this thing. She had her power suit on and she was standing there. And yeah, I said it with my chest. And when Trump came back after he got reelected and said, hey, listen, I might not torch this joint down if you go ahead and get rid of that Black Lives Matter. And she said, yes, sir, boss, right on it. Like she didn't fight the ICE thing. She left us standing alone, even though it was our attorney general who filed it. She stood there. She took the win, even though it wasn't by her own hands. And but once again, that's why I say, like, this is what people are looking for in these times, because right now you sit up here trying to find a space of favor in an administration that has already made up their mind that they're ready to clear this joint out for whoever in their mind is coming behind us as a population. It's already done. So while you know that you already are going to be eradicated, why not say the things that will stand in history to remember that this is worth fighting for? And it's always been a fight. Who was it? Brother Elliot? It was someone that came on here, or maybe it was in something I was watching where they talked about in revolutionary times, especially for Black people, there has never been anything that we have been given or have won as far as like social justice that has not required an essential amount of bloodshed. Period. In the art of war, that's all it is. Bodies for the exchange of justice. And until we make up in our mind what side of that we're landing on, either you're going to be a catalyst of bringing the bodies to the line or you're going to be one of the bodies on the line. There's no other choice in this. And so if you're tired of the things that are happening, then you should start saying these things with your chest as long as it is centered in the human experience. I see Denise came up here and said something.
And Denise, you may be right. I'll put it up for you.
Oh, word. Okay. Sad thing is a lot of the Flint people who could or would stand firm for residents are too sick or already dead from the poison soil and water here. Damn.
That's sad, ain't it?
I feel that, Denise.
That's sad, ain't it?
That leaves an example of just how they are conquering us slowly but surely.
No, facts. I mean, Listen, anytime they can buy your revolution, and that's what I keep. Right, Alan. That nonviolent approach weaken us mentally. Facts. But I look at it as me, in my humble opinion, and I could be wrong. I just think, to me, the Jesse era took over, and they've understood the game, the shakedown. You got I go back. Jesse was there with Martin. Jesse seen what was going on. I'm not saying Jesse to fight what Jesse was trying to do. It just, to me, Jesse was going along with the get along. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you got your Jamal Bryant, because people see what it is. They'd rather take the money. You know what I'm saying? They'd rather take the money. Do they want to go through what Martin went through? Martin I'm thinking his last year a lot. He couldn't even come to some of them churches. They banned him from the churches. He wasn't as friendly to the White House.
Because Martin was becoming hip to what it's really going to take for us to get the things that we feel like that we are owed, or in a space of being human dignity. I think that's the word. We should just be able to have, right?
Yeah.
I see. This is Killer. Words are hard. I got a remedial education. So Killer, I'm gonna stick with that. They say good morning to all, and I must say you look marvelous. Oh, thank you. Or maybe it's Mick. Mick might be sporting something they like. But to tie in water, air, and land to a people, you must become a nation. There's no such thing as a black nation or a people who are black. Now, I can appreciate that perspective, Killer, and I do believe in that, right? You do have to have a nation that ultimately believes that those things are of importance and not just a marketing opportunity. And I think, don't chew me up in this chat. I'm a student, so I'm here to learn, right? As I express things that are coming across my mind, that when you talk about a nation that you can support in these things being a non-negotiable about how we carry on taking care of the responsibility of the colonization of America, the so-called America, is by re-engaging with the indigenous population, who were here before we became a colony or 13 colonies, and supporting them and reacclimating us into the importance that they saw in taking care of those properties that I named in this particular sector of the world.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times when we do advocacy, this is why I bring up Brother Fred Hampton, whose assassination anniversary, I believe, was yesterday. So good timing in the conversation. Is that we often silo our advocacy attempts, right? We feed into the system that was designed to separate us. When we start talking about Black-centered specifically issues, which I'm not saying are not important and they're not valid, but I'm just saying if you find more ways to interconnect the oppression and bring people into conversation and advocacy with that at the forefront, more so it just being a Muslim issue or Christian issue, then I think that we would do better as a country to starting to see our ways out of this dark hole that we're in as of December 5th, this $5 Friday, 2025.
For sure. And let me say this about this classism too, because it just went across my mind. Reason I say I don't like when they use classism. How many NBA, NFL players or rich Black players that they done pulled over and arrested? Was it classism then, or was it colorism? Because they riding around in $1 million car. Make you think, don't it? I'm just saying, when you see them, see, to me, you can catch hell. I'll give you another example. Look at that football game, how the police officer did them college players. He knew them was athletes. He wouldn't have went to no other school if it was all. I'm just telling you, if it was all white school, he wouldn't have did that to them players.
We need to start an 810 dictionary.
Yeah, no, I'm just
You
saying
hit me with
when
that
they
big
be
question, I
saying,
had to go back and make sure I knew the meaning.
no, when they be saying, when they throw the classism, yeah, classism might come when it come to them. I don't think it come when it come to us. It's straight up race.
Mm, I think
O-
that
Obama was the president. I'll give you some more examples. I love giving examples out. Did you forgot who was that? Who was that congressperson that got up and told him, hollered out, "You a lie," during his State of the Union?
I can't think of the name, but I know the moment.
Did we forget about the what was she, the governor of Arizona, when he was on a tarmac? She put his finger in his face. Do you
Mm,
think any one of these people them reporters would pull some shit like that on Trump? And he calling people ugly and a pig? Joe Wilson. Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Do you think one of them will get up there and holler out, tell Trump he's a lie? I'm just saying. So when they say,
hmm
when they was painting pictures of, now this was some real shit. When they was painting Michelle Obama, her looking like a monkey, they didn't see nothing wrong with that.
No, just another.
I'm just saying, because she was the first lady. Huh?
Mick, we don't want to get in trouble with the chat. You gotta get to reading these comments. Derek had one
Uh,
for you.
okay. I just,
I
it
know you
dawned on my mind.
felt it in your heart, but the
Yeah,
chat got
yeah,
something to say.
yeah. No, they got something to say. We'll read it. Okay, I'll put it up here. Let me put it up here on this raw and uncut. Says, to my knowledge, the Constitution was not built or made for black people. It was made for them. Okay. Allen said, when whites operated in a nonviolent approach, never, 98% of them descendants violence. Linda, thank you for tapping in. And I'll go with Derek. Nancy Pelosi said the U.S. Agriculture Fund has over $3 trillion for Flint to use to develop develop frame-free farms for the Flint Township. Wow.
Hmm.
You shouldn't
Yeah,
have
that
said that.
was
They find out it's 3 trillion. So many people finna do farms. You about to have people losing their houses. Like they probably gonna sweep it up.
I might have to come and be a farmer in Flint. If that's the case, 3 trillion. I can't even get $3 up here in DC, bruh.
Now,
Um,
you see what I'm saying?
but not to whose point? Before I lose my track of thing, I think I still have sleep. Um, but no, the Constitution was not created with us in mind because at that time we were considered to be property and cattle. So no, but those were the Bill of Rights and the amendments have happened to try to acknowledge America and its growth of having more collective cultures to create America. Which again, this is just ideally we know that's not how it's really rolling out, right? And to your point, Alan Lynch, when have white people, or as I like to lovingly say, the Wahite clan operated in a nonviolent approach? Never, no. But here's the thing, right? We are still on colonized turf of the so-called United States of America. And in order to take over a country or to regain power over a country, you have to have a few things. Like a military is a big one. And I'm not quite sure. I haven't been in any organizing circles as of yet where anybody has rolled out a couple of tanks, a couple of aircrafts, a couple of things. Now, you might have people who are centered around being trained in that, former military or current military people, but nobody that owns a landing strip that has the amount of arsenal that we're going to need to regain America in its entirety. That would be beneficial, probably, to first us as Black people, and secondly, as everybody else is being oppressed here in America. Just my little Froley opinion.
No, I do. I just laugh at it though. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, and because just go look at the president and look at the vice president wives. Are they U.S. citizens?
Last time I checked, that was a big no.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you ain't see hypocrisy, then Trump just signed a bill for the Haitians on deporting. I'm just saying, when you look at all this stuff, I get it. But I get it. But you know who the people, when they come in, who they kick down? Me and you. People that look like me and you, they be against us. and don't know what they getting into. That's why I be. That's why I be so mad with our entertainers. I'm telling you, I be so mad. And that's why I be looking at when I hear people say they be activists. You know what I'm saying? I'll be watching, but if I see you tearing down our own, it's kind of hard for me to take you serious.
You talk to
And
the
then
people, Nick. I'm gonna look for this video that
go ahead.
might hit on what you're talking about right now.
Okay, it's fine. It's kind of hard for me to take stuff seriously because I just be looking at it like, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I haven't watched the 50 Cent the Diddy documentary. I haven't watched the R. Kelly documentary. I didn't like when Charlamagne got in that and went and did that, but they just show us that our people would do anything for $1. You should you. Hey, you know what, Tracy Jones? I wouldn't put it past none. But these are the type of people that we dealing with. This is what you deal with when you want to come into their world. When you want to, these are the games you got to play. And like she was saying, when you want to go, this is what I hate. I'm not gonna lie. This is what what's up, C Wiz? I hate when we go to the other, we go with people who off well to do. I hate when they come with them stereotypes. Like all people in the inner city, like if you come from this, oh, you like to do this, we didn't go swimming, like we don't have family dinners, oh, we don't, you know what I'm saying, we didn't, our parents never took us out of town, we didn't know how to go sit down in restaurants when you go out to eat. It just make me think when I watch these movies, like I said, when I watched the movie Alexander, when they was going on, I think it was, I don't know if it was Babylon. Anyway, when they went and took over, he was like, and we said they were savages when he talking. And when he went over there, he was amazed by how they building structures was and how everything was. And he was like, oh, I believe it. And when I seen them say that, I was like, damn. And he went over there, see, they was doing propaganda then, far as the Greeks. When they was calling the people, what was it, King Darius he was beefing with, when they was saying they were savages. And it's like, damn, how you gonna say they savages? Then when you get over there, and Alexander the one, like we called them, we said they were savages, and really we the savages. And it's even then they was doing propaganda. So it's like, I can't stand that when they have acting like we don't do, like our homes are different from everybody else. It's like, no, we the basic mother, when we was allowed to have them, mother and father, your parents went to work, kids did their homework. What the hell? Why you think we have black colleges? And it's like it's just an image, and that's the propaganda to me. Even with the people coming in from them other countries. And Brother Roberts was on here talking, and he said how they do it immigrations, how they show videos of us, tell them don't come around the blacks of America. See, they don't say that. That's even racism, even in that, when they having them people trying to dog out the blacks that's here. But see, don't nobody want to have that conversation. You know what I'm saying? We ain't going to have that type of conversation, but we'll still say it's classism. No, that's racism. When you telling other people to come in and you trying to make, like, and that's still going on to this day.
Hopefully you can get that one, Mick. I don't know. The internet is hating on my greatness of sharing my doom scrolling skill set with the people. So we'll see.
Oh, you got this from Status Quo. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Why it won't let me play? Oh, there you go. Here we go. I got you. Let me put this thing up now. Let me share this. Hold on, let me put this up. Share screen. Yeah, I gotta hook my Instagram up.
Oh, word. Okay.
Yeah, you ready for it?
Oh, word. Yeah, sure.
All right, I'll play it. Oh crap.
That's how GDP works. You have more population, they can create more industry, they can create more products, and then this is going to sustain your market growth. Now we have AI, which can do so many jobs of so many people, and we're cutting the market. So people are no longer collateral, they're no longer chattel, they're no longer useful for us or GDP. They're actually liabilities. So laying people off, tying their healthcare to their job, and criminalizing homelessness, as well as removing healthcare, is a form of population control and enslavement. They're basically trying to lay people off, make it so that they have no ability to work, that they have no ability to form homes, and buy homes. And when these people are then on the streets, if they're healthy and can work, they will be put into jail and imprisoned, and they will then work for capital. And if they're unhealthy, they'll get sick and they'll die.
That's pretty dark. That's kind of, I mean, that's kind of what Orwell warned about in 1984, just a little worse. You're basically saying they're essentially trying to just kill off whole swaths of the population.
Yes, they're culling now. They needed these. For the ultra wealthy to exist, there must be the ultra impoverished. So we've reached that system now. I mean, we've heard so much. I mean, in your lifetime, in my lifetime, about overpopulation, and certain places in certain countries are overpopulated. But then when you really do the math, you see that those places that are overpopulated aren't the ones consuming all of the energy and all of the products. So we've been primed to say, oh, there's too many people anyway. There's too many people anyway. And as people get sick and as they go homeless and as they're disappeared, we've been conditioned to believe that that's good, but I mean, I'm here, you're here, and that is not true. Personally, from my side, my brother suffered from epilepsy his entire life. Because health insurance is usually provided to you through your job, and because his illness made it hard for him to hold a job, he was trapped in this revolving door of never being able to get the care he needed because he couldn't keep the job that would get him the care that he would needed, that would get him to keep the job that would get him the care they needed. Sadly, in 2021, he passed away. He choked on his own vomit and he died. And this was very.
How old was he?
He was 39.
Yeah. So,
Shout out the status. No, shout out the status quo. That was Jordan Sheraton.
So if any of the things that you don't hear constantly on 810 News Media Group as it pertains to Flint specifically, or just things that we're observing around the world, specifically in my area 202 and beyond per the chat, let that hold you to incentivize you decide in which part are you really working towards and what is like the reality of your outcome. Because there's only a few that can walk that line of power and go on the other side of MAGA and still be seen as an ally. The rest of us are just, as the gentleman said, a part of the population control.
Facts. Yeah, I liked it that you said that back because they only gave me like 12 seconds of it. See, that's deep. But don't nobody want to talk about that aspect of it. That's why I be so frustrated when I'm like, you all right with taking healthcare cuts. You all right with all right with SNAP benefits. But you cool with spending money to foreign wars. You cool with, because that's what you voted for when you voted for Trump. I'm not saying biting them was any better. I don't know what Kamala would have been doing. All I know is the right now. That's all I'm going with right now. And people don't want to admit it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's sad, but we act like it ain't never been racist in American government. You know what I'm saying? This is like we acted like we've been past that when Uncle Carl was on here when he talked about Stephen Miller. When you hear Stephen Miller talk, but see, we wrong for saying, oh, you know what I'm saying? He got, he undertone got racism on some of the stuff he talking. But people want to understand that when Trump, because they want to act like it's just a small segment of racism in America. That's the lie. That's the greatest lie that they want to be told. It's a small segment of it. But we have to go for it. The ones that sleep, they don't believe it. You have to go for it. You can't look at the policies. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't got so good, you just can't come out and say it, but you can redistricting, redlining. You know what I'm saying? See, but they can't see that part.
the reason why I wanted to, elevate that particular clip is my cousin and I were having a conversation yesterday, and we were talking about how we're starting to notice a trend of a lot of people who ended up going to the hospital and not coming back home. And if you see you know how at first we had a sector of media that was telling us that lynchings were resurgent. There was a resurgence of lynchings that are happening in Black communities. So that's one element that we have coming back up from the old tiny playbook. But now you're seeing that in the medical space, right? This goes to the population control conversation. In the medical space, Black people are being put out of hospitals. I watched a video the other day of a father who was in there with his 2-year-old who was suffering from seizures. And he was told by the medical team that that particular facility was not going to be able to help his daughter. So he requested that they be discharged. Well, the doctor didn't feel like that was the right call, even though he had just gave his father that information. And instead of them working to try to make sure that the family felt comfortable and to further explain why they were taking these actions, it moved into the police being called. And not to remove the family as a whole, to remove the father specifically while they wanted to keep the child. Does that sound familiar for any of our history buffs that are on this chat? So, like, really, when you talk about how we're being plotted against and plowed out of existence, this is why we keep elevating. One, take your blinders off. You don't have to, it's not a hard lift. You can take it in book form, you can take your blinders off in movie form, or just have a goddamn conversation outside of your own thoughts in your own box. But then also, if you're going to find a way to make peace with the present, go to the past while you still can. And if it wasn't true that this is where most people will be awakened into to really visualizing or connecting the dots on what we're dealing with today, why would they be making such a fuss about removing books out of schools, removing artifacts, yeah? Why? And it doesn't cost you anything currently for now to take the time to do something to help change your mind and the mind of other people that are connected to you. Because to Mickey's point, the way that they also being able to get over on us so easily is by using us against us, right? And they know that we have a soft heart for melanated things. And that we love when people talk to us in the form of revolution and liberation. But if you listen to our elders like Malcolm X and those who were along with Martin Luther King and things, and you find out what liberation and revolution really entails and what kind of commitment you have to make from a personal standpoint, then I think a lot of us will not be using revolution and liberation so freely. It takes a onus of living in a reality that is not self-centered. Because the way the world works, you could live it all by yourself. But last time I saw a movie that was like that, it reminded me of how it would be to be like only self-centered. It's with Wilson. What's that joint with Tom Hanks when he was stranded?
Oh shit! What was it called?
Y'all know
on the island. I know what you're talking about.
And he was never right from them. He made a whole soccer ball his brand new friend, and that's exactly what you're gonna look like if you don't get outside this goddamn box today and start talking to some people to see how we can get back to where we need to be. And maybe we can make America great. I would argue not again, but maybe we can get to what America is initially supposed to be. Trigger word. Supposed, but I don't want to fight a war. I've never been to war. I don't know if I'm built. Oh, Castaway. Thank you, Alan Lynch. That's the joint. Castaway.
Castaway. Right.
Yeah. I think that if a person is not ready to accept being in a civil war or having to deal with the atrocities of like what it's going to be like for us to be standing next to somebody in bullets flying, because America has done that before. We've been there before. It doesn't mean we won't go back. Then this is the low lift that we could do right now to try to shift the tide before it gets to such an egregious scenery. of people losing their lives in real time every day, every second of the hour. And we know that America is capable of doing that because they're doing it in other areas. And if not so, we wouldn't hear the conversation about what he's doing in Venezuela, what he's doing in Cuba, and other areas where all they want to do is just be able to have autonomy over running their country and their space in a way that's going to be helpful to the population that resides there.
No, listen, I I agree with you, but I don't know how we get there, Yogi. I mean, I'm telling you, I don't know how we get there.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I don't know. I'm here with you. Like I was looking at some of this stuff. Man, I just saw two devastating videos. I don't know how true it is, but I'm seeing this one. I'm seeing some stuff going down in Chicago. They had, I don't know if this was a mother walking up the street butt naked.
Mm.
And so I'm saying,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
about the young lady. And then I'm seeing this one. The admiral name is Admiral Alvin Hosley left, refused to follow Trump's illegal orders. Not only did he do the right thing, but he also exited quickly as he could. Now Admiral Frank M. Bradley on the right has a 34-year career that may end up with a prison sentence and the loss of his military pension. He's being blamed for the boat strikes and could face court martial for disobeying unlawful orders. Admiral Hosley saw this coming a mile away. Now you see, but I don't think nothing gonna really happen, to be honest with you, Yogi, because I look at they created a generation of people strung out on drugs, on crack, and didn't nothing happen to nobody. You know what I'm saying? When you put drugs, you like cocaine, crack, rock, enter into your neighborhoods. This is what you did to fund the war. And don't nothing happen. That's why I don't see none like what's up, Lawrence? That's why I don't see none. Oh, facts. Thanks for tapping in. That's why I don't see nothing gonna happen with this water crisis thing. It's just another okay. We made a mistake. Some people died. Oh well. Business keep going.
I ain't got the answers, Otis. I'm just
Yeah.
a person trying to figure it out like everybody else on this world and in this chat. What I do know is that once again, I found a lot of peace through chaos and looking into the past. And where it has landed me is that I will feel more prepared to go, knowing that I knew the truth, than I would stand blinded. Now, granted, I haven't had a choice in the matter. I don't know. I still might be one of those people. If you give me $1 trillion, I don't know. It might be a whole new yogi. Yeah. But right now, the way the things have been set up, I'm locked in and loaded into just dealing in reality, and having conversation with people in the community to see what we can make happen, until we can get to the bigger part of how do we really take over, from the powers that be that funded this whole jam of making America America, which is a whole different kind of monster and beast. So
Yeah. I don't know. Like I say, like you gotta fight in DC. We gotta fight in Flint. But
man,
election season is upon us. I don't know how this thing gonna turn out because it's on our own. Because Flint was a majority black council, and it's diabolical. But I don't know behind the scenes who they talking to or who telling them, "Hey, look, this how this ship finna roll. Either
yeah,
you get with it or you get rolled over."
or disappeared.
Yeah, so that you know what I'm saying. These people they running for these seats. It's just that I gotta, you know what I'm saying. Don't know. Listen, don't nobody want to go through what they do to people who fight. Everybody talk that. That's what I'm saying. You would be surprised who dealing with some of the people that is really running this thing. You know what I'm saying. You'll be surprised.
Yeah, in the only way we'll know is we stay locked in to those people that we putting in power. Don't just set it and forget it. Um, well, listen, I see Denise gave us. Derek came in after Denise, but Denise said, "I don't think we need America to be great again, because we just need America to be morally correct. Love thy neighbor is the richest a country can be." I agree. I happen to like the fact that I get to travel the world without having to leave America. I think it's pretty dope that I get to experience different cultures just by traveling uptown or downtown or to the south side, you know. I
For
think that
sure.
that is one of the things that does make America a great space to be in is because culturally it is very rich and diverse for now.
Facts.
You want to read that or you want me to read it?
I left it up there for you.
Oh, word. You know, my reading skills on fire today. DCPS would be proud. They gave me one skill. When God says no man shall be without a mate, then the man is taken away via drugs, war, prison, death, welfare by a system supposedly not created for us. Then why the fuck? Oop, you got me, Derek. Are we using it voting? Well, I think that the onus of still operating in what is set as a law practice here, democracy, is worth still participating in. Um, do I believe that it's the only way that we're going to get where we need to be? No, absolutely not. But do we take it to chance not to participate in the system that they themselves have collectively agreed upon operating within? I don't think that it benefits us not to still operate in that system while we build other ways for us to seek justice. And
I
I'll
agree
say,
with you. No, I agree with you with that. I say you still vote, but still build something for yourself.
there you go. See, you said it so simplistically. There you go, Nick. I appreciate that.
That's diabolical.
Yeah, yeah. Man, listen, Alan, you heard me say I ain't got the answers. I ain't sway. I don't know. I'm just a person that happens to, be locked into a lot of things and I'm starting to connect dots to and may or may not agree with. So here we are today on this good $5 Friday. Mick, you mind if I take the floor for a moment?
Listen, hold up, do your thuggism.
Word, there we go, man. Listen, good people, it is 10:58 on this great Friday, and I don't know about you, but I got to get outside of this box and the one that I live in currently to go do some things that's gonna make me feel great about being on this little dusty rock. I want to remind you that today is $5 Friday, and while we are getting ready to close this particular show, it doesn't mean that you still can't do your part to make sure that A10 News Media Group continues to bring you the news that you can use, or we hope that you can use, or at least bring you a couple of conversations to make your day and your circles a little greater. So if you want to hit the Cash App, I'm sure it'll come across the bar. If not, oh, Brother Otis will let you know. And then if you are still jonesing for some news that you can use, I heard in these streets that at 6:30 6:30 ish, maybe 7. Winters will be coming on the block. See, there you go. They go to 810 $sign 810 News Media Group. That's for Cash App for that $5 Friday donation. But it's been a pleasure being able to join y'all on Friday to show you how I like to doom scroll and bring up some topics that's on my mind. And I hope that you continue to support 810 News Media Group on this great $5 Friday. And we'll see you hopefully on Sunday, where my Chitlin Circus show with Anna, the Puerto Rican princess, comes on this Sunday at 7 o'clock. And before that, catch Brother Elliot at 9 a.m. to be locked and loaded in the class for Black Watch. And so you got some things to do. Thank you, Common Sense. I appreciate it. Trevor put the Cash App in the chat. Thank you, Trevor. He's always in the background holding us down. And remember, it's not too late to be great. All right, Mick, come on back. Talk to the people.
You say you talk. He said talk to the. I never left. I never left. I was here the whole time. I never left.
There
I
you
never
go.
left.
It's on the screen now, Dirk. There you go. They go to Cash App.
Yeah. I just put you on because I said, listen, she running it. Let me. You never stop greatness. See, that's the greatness of a coach. When you got star players, you let them do their thing.
Put me in, Coach. I appreciate it.
And that's what I do. I don't hold back nothing. Let me sit back. Sometimes that's what a coach do. You sit back and let your star players do their thing. That's why I'm waiting on the Puerto Rican princess and y'all show up Sunday. I'm just telling you, because they want to know what's going on DC. They want y'all to break down what happened. They need y'all to break it down. We didn't told them about Flint and DC. We gave them our version of Flint and DC. We need help, family.
Word, man. Listen, y'all hold it to our heads and not our heart. We do this for real. We ain't on here for play. So sometimes we really do be in the community and making things happen. And then we're two moms together. And sometimes Sundays are hard. But we do know that the chat loves us and we love to chat back. And y'all help us decide on how we move forward and percolate on some things. So yeah, we look forward to coming and joining y'all any Sunday. But hopefully this Sunday you'll
This
see
Sunday.
me and Honor on Just a Thought for sure.
Oh, you'll see them Saturday. We're gonna figure it out. I'm gonna give up some of their weekend to see how they like it.
We need a lot more than $5 Fridays then.
For sure. For sure. Well, maybe we can get that right then. Hot dang it.
Word.
We
Y'all make
trying.
it happen, boy. I ain't gotta go out here and try to shake some trees and do something strange for change, bro.
That's what I'm doing. I got to get out here and make it work. I'm out here. I got to do something strange for a little bit of change. You see, like I said, and once again, before I get out of here, starting the first of the new year, if you mad at your boss or your coworker, gladly hit that Cash App. This is where you won't get in trouble. Hit it anonymously. Just leave us a little detailed message how your coworker, your boss, maybe your ex, maybe your in-laws, how you despise them. Give us a little what's the name, and we will read the riot act on the morning recall and definitely on the nightly nip. Or maybe on just a thought. We will give you just a thought, but hit us with that. This is what we're offering from here from the shows of 810. Because we don't want y'all to end up in HR or possibly losing your job. Give it to us. We handle it. And that's it. You got anything you got to say?
Man, be great people. Don't be a problem. And stay safe and stay safe. Trevor said, tell us who puts carrots in the mac and cheese. Anyone who does that is the people we want to be nice
Right.
to. Fact.
If Annie can't cook, give it to us. And we'll put it out there.
I look forward to seeing that now. But y'all be safe and y'all be straight and see y'all on Sunday, good people. Peace.
Peace.